And joining us now is Jonathan Schanzer, Vice President for Research at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Mr. Schanzer, good of you to join us, sir.
My pleasure.
This looks like a lose-lose proposition for both Israel and Hamas, a great expenditure of time, effort, treasure, and a lot of lives at stake. Why has it come to this?
Well, I think actually it comes down to the fact that Hamas has been cornered. They have been cut off from Israel, and up until now, their lifeline was through Egypt. After the fall of Mohammed Morsi, the Muslim Brotherhood leader in Egypt last year, the regime of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has cut off the supply lines of Hamas. They have been losing political and economic power steadily over the last year. It appears right now that what Hamas is fighting for is its right to survive. Israel, of course, would like to see Hamas gone, and this could be Hamas's last stand.
Well, we've been hearing that, sir, and Hamas apparently is out of money. A great loss of prestige over the last few years. Fatah's looking pretty good on the West Bank. They're losing ground to Fatah, so they have to in some way reassert themselves to become the true champions of the Palestinian people, and that's what this fight is about.
Well, that's right. It looks like that's what they're trying to do, but the question is whether they're going to be rallying the support of their own people. And it's not clear to me that they are. I mean, just for example, today we've learned that Hamas was hiding rockets in a school. We saw Israel attack a hospital today because there were rocket stores beneath that hospital. This is not, I think, the way to win over the population. And look, on the other side of the equation, you have Mahmoud Abbas, who has been roundly jeered by some of the militants within Palestinian society. But those in the West Bank are looking on, realizing that they have been kept safe and their leader is poised to at least survive another day. I'm not sure that Hamas can say the same.
Part of the reason I ask the question about lose-lose, because, you think back what happened 5 years ago. Israel invaded then and inflicted a lot of damage, but it was a public relations disaster for Israel. It took Hamas years to recover. So who wins here? I mean, how do you win? Where is there a way out where you can claim victory?
Sure. Well, look, I think that there actually are some misconceptions. The last war between Hamas and Israel, the Israelis were actually only hunting for one kind of rocket. It was an Iranian-made rocket called a Fajr 5 rocket, and the Israelis neutralized most of them. In this war, it appears that the Israelis have two objectives. One is to get rid of the long-range rockets, again, supplied by Iran. But the other objective is to close down the tunnels that not are the ones that are connecting between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, but the tunnels that are now snaking into Israeli territory, like the one that was destroyed earlier today when the Israelis thwarted an attack. At the end of the day, though, you're right. Ultimately, Hamas is likely to remain in power and likely to remain a threat to Israel for the foreseeable future. But the Israelis have very tactical approaches that they're looking at right now with very specific goals in mind.
Do you think they will wrap this up in short order, or might this drag on, sir?
Well, I think it can drag on for quite some time, primarily because there is not really a good interlocutor. There's no one out there who can, I think, provide that role of ceasefire broker. The Egyptians have failed largely because Hamas doesn't trust them. The alternatives right now look to be Qatar and Turkey, and I think they're horrible choices primarily because they have been the patrons of Hamas. They themselves are guilty of terrorism finance. These people should not be rewarded with that job. So then it leaves the question of who is left, and I just don't see any good options right now.
Jonathan Schanzer is at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. We appreciate your time, sir. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.